So welcome or welcome back to another one from ItsPuddinsT. Uh Today we're gonna continue on with the topic of spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare, right? So after doing a lot of research and doing a lot of thinking, I realized that I'm gonna have to do these in multiple parts actually, probably. I don't know if they're gonna be back to back, but I realize it's just way too much to be able to just fit it all in one episode. Uh, yeah, because it depends. Because the thing is, it's like it's so many different. What's the word I'm looking for? Because it's so many different ways it could go, right? Uh, okay, so first let's start with. Okay, so today we're gonna start with emotions, right? Let me take my bells off. I had to put my bells on. They relax me, but I don't want to sound like Rudolph the Red. And Christmas is gone. I dropped one, but I'll pick it up later. Okay, so let's talk about. Well, today we're gonna pretty much focus mainly on emotions, right? Because emotions run everything, including money. Emotions dictate and run everything that goes on around you, right? And my emotions, listen. I'm just so annoyed. Like I'm so super annoyed. It happened last time too, last episode, right? But this time was way worse as far as trying to keep this episode from coming out, and it made me want to do it even more. So like I've never been like it's almost it's almost like a in my own little way, it's almost like a fu to whatever energy is trying to keep me from doing it. And that's also like a form of spiritual attack, right? Or spiritual warfare. It could be on my end, it could be on your end. Whatever it is trying to keep it from coming out, and it's trying to keep it cute. You know what I mean? I try not to feed into the bush, but who? So let me tell you. So first of all, yesterday I did like 3 or 4 hours worth of content that I cannot put out. I'm not gonna go into details. Mainly my fault though. A lot of it was my fault, but I could just like, bro, you can just tell, and that's why I want to really do this episode because when you're in it and when you're going through it, like, it's nice to know that other people get it because when you're on this path, the journey, whatever you want to call it, when you're in this energy, it tends to feel lonely for a lot of people. You tend to feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, even if someone shares the same interests. It's sometimes it's like it's still you can't really. If you do have people that you can talk to, it's awesome. It feels great, but um, it depends, right? It depends. So, uh, my ear. See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so I was perfectly fine, right? I've been working out, like I've been getting it in. Um, and shout out to my family, bro. Listen, my family was going through it last year. Like we had it was so many deaths in my family. So love whew, and I send love and light and strength to my family, because we had it. It was so anyway, so I got my head back on straight right, been really hype about getting back into creating content because I haven't been doing it for not just because I've been mourning and things like that, but because of other reasons too, right? So I was extremely excited. I was fine, like because now I'm getting, I'm more comfortable. I'm used to it, so there's no anxiety. It doesn't bother me. Like I enjoy this. I do it for fun. It's fun for me, and so I like to create. And if you are a fellow ADHDer, I think that's what we be calling each other. We put an ear on it. If you also have ADHD, you get it. Like we pick up these, we pick up what do you call it? We pick up like different little creative adventures and tasks, and you be painting one day, you be doing this, and once we get into it, and then once we jump on something else, we jump on something else. So I've been trying to just focus on the main projects that I've had going on, and For some reason, when it comes down to creating content for the collective, shit gets weird. Like I have like slight issues with my ear after it was after because I used to work overseas, so it was my last flight actually that I took. And it felt like my eardrum like exploded, bro. It was terrible. So every now and again I still have like some issues with it. And it's been a while though. I was happy that it's been a while. I was just hoping that it kind of like went away on its own, whatever little issues I was having with it. But yesterday, right before I got ready to record this episode, I started having issues with my ear. I started feeling kind of sick. Mind you, I haven't been sick in years either. Like maybe some little like but like stomach like issues, but I know that had a lot to do with me picking, better meal choices, right? Of course. So I kind of wrote that off and was like, okay, but I haven't been actually like sick in years, right? And so I'm like, what's going on? I had an earache that just took me because once I realized I couldn't use the content, I was like, you know what? Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm just gonna do it all over. I'm just gonna because usually I don't do that because it's draining when I do because I was working on a lot of things yesterday. So I was like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. But then my ear ached, and then I just started feeling real sickly. I'm like, this is crazy as hell. The moment I decided, like, okay, I'm not gonna push myself too hard, right? Because I don't want to hurt myself in the process trying to prove a point. As soon as I laid down and started BSing, I felt better. I was like, bruh, it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. And then I was like, bro, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give myself about an hour. I'm gonna let all my devices charge up, and then we're gonna go at it again. I feel better now. Baby, no, I was dizzy, hot, lightheaded. I was just going through it. My asthma started acting up on me. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, bro, there's no way that this is just me. There's no way that's just in my head because I was too amped to do it. Like I was like, because usually with anybody who suffers from anxiety, it can start in your chest and then it turns into this full body thing, right? And you can pass out, you can have an anxiety attack, things like that. So sometimes like you can get lightheaded or feel sickly, depending on how because I feel like anxiety starts like this and then it has the potential to expand depending on the situation. So that's usually how it is for me. And so I'm like, bro, I don't feel none of that. So I don't see what's leading or causing me to feel like sick. I've been taking great care of myself. I meditate. I do all these things and I've been on this, track of just trying to, heal. I'm almost healing has been the main thing, right? So I'm like, bro, I'm doing all the right things. I'm checking off my list. I'm doing all this other stuff. And I haven't been doing anything that would cause this. And I'm like, it has to be that. So I went ahead and just took a break and I was like, okay, we'll just do it again tomorrow. So got up today, almost the same exact thing. It was mind blowing, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna meditate. I'm gonna pray, and then we're gonna rock out. And if I pass out, then I pass out. And because it's like I can't just stop. I can't just do that because uh, I've already took a break. Like I've already stayed going long enough, and I promised myself that I was gonna be more consistent. And yeah, I've seen some videos too. I've seen some inspirational videos and some people you know. And so I seen one individual actually who was doing an interview, like I think he was on a podcast or something like that, and his words just weighed real heavy on me about about like just keeping it motivated me to push and keep going, but of course not to push yourself too far. But anyway, I say all that because it falls into the same thing. Like if that's what you've ever experienced when you get ready to work on something, especially when you're passionate about it and you actually like once you get over the fear of it, and a lot of times that fear is also sent to you too. When you start doubting yourself, when you start all of a sudden feeling some type of way, um, a lot of times it's not really actually you, and you don't have to claim that energy. And I would suggest that whatever however you do it, you say return to sender. You say I rebuke that in the name of whatever goes along with your beliefs or what's in your wow, I want to say temple just now, but whatever, right? Because it's so many different things. Because I feel like you can still have a certain belief system because they, to me, listen, I don't care what anybody say. They all pretty much say the same thing, right? And so it's all positive to at the end of the day when you take the most important parts is what I'm saying, not the parts that wants to control or manipulate or trick anybody into this. Not that, but I just feel like there's the core of it is good, and there's morals and values, and that it displays in all these particular groups that I choose not to name because I don't want to go into all that. But I would suggest you do that though, right? I suggest you pray and you keep it pushing, but don't push too hard though. You don't want to push yourself too hard because I've actually done that. And it didn't pan out too well for me physically. So yeah, so today I took a different route, and now I'm just like, okay. So I still feel a little not too, but the more I go into this, the better I feel. So I'm just gonna rock with that, right? So yeah, so you'll have that. You'll have where it feels like nothing's working out. And and this is for the people who know like, you're fully aware of your choices and decisions that you're making, right? And for a fact, like, I'm actually doing my best. You're like, I'm really trying out here. Like, no, like, I'm really like trying to correct mistakes and trying to become better and all of these great things. And you're like, why is it not working out? And it's because someone's sending energy towards you. It could be so, like I said, a lot of people, um, you just may be surrounded by the wrong people too, though, because we have a tendency to get complacent with people. We have a tendency to accept people. Like, there's nothing wrong with accepting people for who they are, but when it's detrimental to what you're trying to do, you have to let that go. And I get it. Like, you don't want to start over if you're dating somebody, or you don't want to. Sometimes you just love people. It could be your family. Like, you just love people. It's just and you're a good person. But this is the thing though, you're basing if your relationship is one sided and you're basing it off of how you feel about this person, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because a lot of times, bro, I kid you not, unless you don't know them, unless you really actually don't know them, because you have people like that too, and we're gonna get into that. Um, but unless you don't know them, 9 times out of 10, if this person is active in your life, you've seen the signs, but you either just didn't know what you were seeing. Cause like it's like a kid. You know how you see someone as a child and then you don't realize you didn't really have all the information to piece everything together until you got grown type of energy. That's what that is. So it's like you really have to start questioning. Like, okay, if it's not you, and this is for the people who already know this ain't me, it's not me, right? And so you're like, okay, you just got to be an investigator. You just have to, in your own little, way, in your mind, you just got to be like, and start questioning and start thinking about situations and things and start thinking about people. And it's like, who's this person? Like, who knows about this? Who did you tell about this and it didn't work out? Who was involved with this and then something went wrong? Like, you have to start adding a piece of things together so you know who to leave alone. A lot of times your intuition already told you, your soul already told you it doesn't feel good. It like it's just it's all that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to focus on emotions today because it's all about the feeling, right? Uh, and a lot of that, because I'm gonna tell you where the loneliness really kicks in, is because you feel like you can't confide in no one either, and that's another thing that people do. So let's talk about the ones that are like close to you that you may know. So people that are close to you that you know or whatever, they have a tendency to be to hide it well, right? And 9 times out of 10, you don't even know these people are into any of it. Like they will play stupid. They'll play dumb. They act like they don't know what tarot is. They act like they don't know what none of this is, bro. They act like they don't know or have a clue. Some of them, okay, so it's different. It's different sides of the coin, right? You have on one hand, you have them where they may not make a big deal out of it. If you're into that or that kind of thing, they may play it off. They may act real nonchalant and be like, "Oh, okay," and they may act like it's not registered to them, and they're going about their day, and they are really actually acting up in their head like, "Oh shit, you be learning some stuff. You might be into some things. So I may need to do this and I might need to do that. And they may try to block information from coming to you. They may try to, you know what I'm saying? They listen, it's crazy. And then it some most of the time people you least expect would do some shit like that to you. And then the other side of it is they'll act like it's evil. Oh, you shouldn't do that. They may or may not express that to you, but they may um they well, 9 times out of 10 they'll probably express it to someone else, right? And have others thinking that that's who you are, what you're into, especially if they know that those people don't have a clue like about any of that stuff, right? And so you really pretty much have to bank on those people just loving and trusting you. And even still, even if they don't understand, and even if that is the case, and that's what they want to do, they don't really get it. Like a lot of people just don't get it. It does not register. It's just nothing you can do really. It's like they can try to love you through it, but they still kind of look over their shoulder a little bit. Like they like, I know better, but you just never know, right? So you'll have um you'll have it where like they'll intentionally get close to people who are close to you, right? And they will act perfect. Listen, they'll do things, they'll act perfect besties with these people so that if just in case you do, because you finding out and you exposing them as listen, one of their biggest fears. So you if the my I'm not gonna say nothing. Bruh, my eyes twitching like, and I'm trying my best to keep it. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's okay. So anyway, that's how I know. That's how I know I'm getting somewhere. So yeah, so like they're terrified of that because they start to lose. They start to lose it. They start to lose it. They start to lose the reins, baby. So they'll sit up there and they'll just play this part, and then the other person's like, "Well, I don't know. I don't see." Especially this day and age where people need help. Like whether they got money or not, they need some type of help. Like I see a lot of people are really in their emotions. If you really think about it, like people are struggling. Like not in a sense of I just see like not in a negative sense, but as a whole, I just see that everybody wants the world to be better, whether they realize it or not. Like everybody's sick of it, whether it's firsthand or just witnessing it. For the most part, I see the world getting better. Like I see more people talking about people projecting onto other people, and more people are talking about this. More people are getting into this and becoming free thinkers, and are really waking up to these like energies, and it's beautiful to me. It's very, very beautiful to me. It's like, but when you're when you're chosen one, like it don't seem like that, or like in your immediate vicinity, like unless you have like little groups that get together and stuff like that. You know, social media. That's the one thing about it. Like social media has a crazy side to it, but that's only if you. I feel like that's only if you kind of choose to invest into some of the chaos. Um, but for the most part, if you really do pay attention, like it's becoming like the world's becoming more and more dope. If you really sit and actually pay attention, like people are being nicer to each other for the most part. You still got a few NPCs out here that are still ragged as hell, leaving stupid comments and doing the most for no reason for free, and it's just like you could have just kept it pushing. I've told myself that the same exact thing. Like I done been typing. I'm like, why are you doing this right now? And then I was like, what if you wrong? I always do that tell like, but what if you wrong though? And then there been a few times I done caught myself recently. It done been a few times I caught myself about to go hard in a comment section. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, think about it, and reevaluate the video real quick. And it's like I may scroll and read some other comments and look at someone else's perspective. And I'm like, oh, I might be wrong. Let me get on before I embarrass myself, before I become one of these NPCs. So it's like, you have to do that too. Now you have to constantly check yourself, like because a lot of people you are a victim, and people have been attacking you, and it's people that have absolutely no business attacking. You got strangers, you know what I'm saying? People get it could be behind greed and all kind of things, baby. And you don't have a clue. You minding your business. You know what I'm saying? And it's wow. It's super wild that people would even do that. And it's like that's the most dangerous thing you can do. It's bother someone who's really truly not bothering anyone. Like they're minding their business. Leave them alone, especially if they mean well. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's a dangerous game to play. It's an extremely dangerous. You think God is really going to let you play with people that are doing what he or she wants them to do? Like, because I'm gonna stop saying. Well, I don't know. He is. There's nothing wrong with saying he either. I mean, it's God, you know. So I don't think God minds if it's he or she, right? So it's like, bro, it's just strange to me that people do that, but they do. So yeah, so emotions. Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to how they sway. Start paying far more attention to your thoughts because a lot of those, look, your thoughts aren't you, right? People, and work on that too, because people don't control their thoughts. That's why I try my best. I'm working on not taking things so personal. And I think it's because I'm sensitive though. And I think so. And you know, a lot of that, and what's weird is because like I'm not as blunt as I used to be. I'm working on that too. I'm very honest, but I'm like sometimes you can't really. It's just the way you say things. Sometimes you shouldn't say anything at all. But I just sometimes you just have to keep stuff to yourself too. So I don't know. It depends. But yeah, so if I say something to someone and they take it the wrong way, like I try my best now to kind of like say something because sometimes people don't say something. So I'll say something, I'll ask, or whatever the case may be, right? Uh, but it's because like emotions are so important, and I just try my best to be careful on what seeds I plant or how I say things, and I walk on eggshells not because of like consequences, like when I create content, I do the same thing. And it's not to people please. You know, some people are like, oh, you know, no, it's not that. It's because I care so much. And I realize how many people I may have hurt when I used to be so blunt. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to do better. So I take that into, I take that into consideration. Like, okay, hold on. Because even though it's like because you feel so strongly about something, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? And so I just try to, like, unless I truly know something. But the thing about it, I'm not going to argue. Like, we can bounce ideas off of each other and you can disagree with me. I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with being wrong too. If I'm completely wrong, please correct me. Please don't let me walk around saying the wrong thing. So I'm most definitely fine with that. I respect others, they respect me, then we cool. So I don't mind. So it's like I just consider all that because, and I say this because you have to do the same thing. You have to do all that so that when these energies do come into play, you recognize, you pick up on them real quick, and you can turn the center of it. Shh, I'm not playing those games. I'm not playing those games today. We got things to do. We got things to feel. I'm not doing that because it'll come out of nowhere, and you would be surprised at how like it affects you, how it determines how you feel on a daily basis. And it's like I don't know, it's like you just I want to focus on emotions and feelings because it's pretty much the only proof that you have a lot of the times. Real talk. And it's like that's why it's frustrating when you try to confide and tell someone or you try to hint at it. It's because like they just but see some people now they already feel something. Some people depending on your background because some families they it's a normal thing. And as far as like some people do practice like a hoodoo and things like that. And uh you got some people like you've heard or probably seen on TV or something like people like, oh, that girl Panera. I tell you, I always go back to Harlem Nights. I always go back to Harlem Nights when he told me, all right, that girl put a root on you. He told, what's a root? And when Eddie Murphy's character said, what's a root? It's a root. When they put roots on you, pretty much like doing spell work or doing magic on you. And it's like, Louisiana, like certain areas. So depending on your family or where you're from, like, because some of my family, like, they're like that. Like my grandma, she would talk about certain little things here and there. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I was terrified. I was like, what? You know, so it just depends, right? Some people are introduced to it, some people aren't at all. And let me tell you something. The ones of you that aren't at all, they will have a field day with you. For real, for real. And they'll make you feel crazy. They'll make people think that you're crazy. And listen, on top of that, they will they'll do spell work and they'll do magic on the people that's around you too. And so that's why I say you can't take some of this stuff personally. Like if somebody like, cause it will hurt your feelings if you confide someone and you feel like they don't believe you, and it'll make you like not want to talk to anyone. Make you just feel alone, and that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel isolated. They want you to feel like you're alone and like you're going crazy, and they're harvesting off you the entire time. And it's like, dang, why ain't nothing working out with me? But it's going great for them though. Their life is amazing, isn't it? And it's like they will embed themselves into your life. They'll make themselves usually they try to make themselves important. They try to make themselves have a hand in something so that they have some type of control. And you just have to listen, you gotta pray, you gotta do your best, you gotta learn and grow. And because depending on where you're at with it, you just have to, when you're in a situation, cut them off, cut them off. When you're in a situation, when you're in a situation, when you're in a situation to let them go, let them go. Stop hanging on because of how you think you feel. Because you're a good person, you're going to feel the way you feel. That's not going to change. That's what you fail to realize. Stop comparing people to yourself. Like, stop comparing the way you love. You're not going to love someone out of hating you. It's just not how it works. That love that you show, they just feeding off of it and then turning it around. That shit is crazy, but it happens. You got to let it go. So you have to really pay attention to your emotions. Like, why am I feeling this way again? Because you'll be perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden, or if you're working on something, like, why is everything like failing? Like, bro, like this is crazy to me. Um, but some people like I would say there's certain things you can do on your own. Now, if you have to go get a cleansing or have to go talk to someone, then by all means, if that's what feels right to you, then you can do so. But don't forget that there are certain ways that you can do things yourself too. Because especially now, a lot of people. Well, it depends on the person, but some people wallets are tight and they don't have 250, 300 or whatever. I'm not too sure what people charge for that type of thing, but a lot of people they kind of dread that, and especially if someone's doing this spell work on you, you probably don't have the funds because I'm gonna tell you right now, being broke is one of the biggest signs that someone's doing it. Unless you just, of course, come on now, you got to know the difference. That's what I'm saying. You have to know, you have to know what is you. Like I said, I'm talking to people who know it's not me. It's like I know it's not me. I'm doing my very best. Right? Okay. So a lot of that though, uh, a lot of that, like you're like, okay, so it's like you do end up blaming yourself. You do end up focusing, and then it's like it's this cycle. It's just an aggravating cycle of emotions because it's like, oh, you start thinking about the past, you start thinking about the mistakes that you did make. But what you fail to realize is a lot of those mistakes were sent to you. A lot of those terrible relationships, those spouses were sent to you. A lot of that energy was sent to you. And you remember the very moment that you bit the bait. And you're like, dang, bro, like I can't believe, but you forgive yourself. You have to focus on forgiving yourself. And this is not something like once you make it up in your mind that that's what you're going to do, then move forward gracefully. Don't rush yourself. Don't try to push yourself because you feel like you're struggling and you feel like, oh, I have to get this done. I have to. The moment you realize it, the moment you make the decision that it's no longer going to affect you and you're going to move forward the best way you can, then just focus on that. Because healing takes time. Healing really takes time, and you have to give yourself that time. You have to give yourself that grace. You have to be patient with yourself. Um, and it's a balancing act though, because it's really really quick to to go back to thoughts that aren't very favorable. Especially if you, I ain't gonna lie, especially if you're accountable though, because you're a good person. You kind of sit and think about all those things, and you really just drown in yourself. You really have to start mentally training yourself. It sounds exhausting because I'm pretty sure you're already exhausted. That's another thing too. They send you exhaustion and they have you to the point where you don't have, and that's another thing. They're siphoning from you, so you are exhausted. They're using your energy, so they're feeding off of you. So you don't have any energy for yourself. You don't feel like doing anything, and then they're the main ones. I guarantee you, they probably call you lazy. I guarantee it to your face, to people. And if you crazy if you believe it. Like, don't. Well, I ain't gonna. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean like, Don't let them do that to you. So, and I won't say let because it's not a let. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot deeper than that. It's like it's serious too. Because people have died. You know, people have been unalived. Like people have this can get that serious. So it's not a game. It's not something to actually like play with. So people don't realize how serious that is. Like I said, it depends on who you are and what experience you have in life. Some people like their life looks like cookie cut. It looks like Brady Bunch type of TV show type of thing. It looks normal on the outside, and no one else is like. That's why it's hard for you to believe. They've painted this picture, and it's like there's no way. And TV plays a big role in a lot of things that people go through and kind of brush things off because they're like, oh, that's not real. And no, a lot of TV is based on real events and real things. And then that's another thing is that you can watch a crazy ass movie and it can tell you at the beginning that's based off a true story, and people still let that go out the window and be like, this ain't possible. Hmm. I'm one of those people, bro. I'm like, you know what? You don't got to prove it to me. Me and God talk consistently. God, you ain't got to prove it to me. Yeah, I believe that anything is possible. You ain't got to prove. You got to show me nothing. Cause sometimes they'll show you. You ain't got to show me nothing. Okay. So yeah. So let me look at my notes real quick. So yeah, but for the most part, I want to keep it. I want to break these down and go into like just different areas of it. I wouldn't mind actually. Like I said, well, I had someone who was supposed to come on, but they had a situation. So, but they were like more of the professional license standpoint. I actually think I want someone like I don't know. I'm looking for something different. I want to call in something like different. I would love experiences, like actual experiences, like people who have like real stories. I wouldn't mind like interviewing actual people who went through like different and just covering like different categories or something like that. That would be interesting. So if you're interested in sharing your story, I wouldn't mind talking to you and see if you want to come on. And you don't have to be on camera or anything like that, but I'm interested. We'll see. We shall see. So I'm looking at my notes real quick. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I pretty much covered everything that I wrote down in my notes. I just want to make sure I didn't miss nothing. Um, yeah, but I just want to talk about emotions. I just want to talk about how it feels because it feels weird. It feels so weird, and it's like waves of emotions, and it's hard for it's so hard for people to get it because they don't feel it. They don't feel like you feel. They don't necessarily half the time they barely even see people who are in the first place anyway. Um, and that's another thing too, though. You have to give other people grace as well, because if you haven't experienced it, and if you haven't experienced certain things, like all my experiences pushed me to pretty much, go in a certain direction, right? Because I'm pretty sure because you have like certain points in your life where you're like, if this would have went the way I wanted it to, but I realized like, bro, if I really would have made what I felt was like the best decisions back then, it makes me wonder if I still end up like doing like tarot and being interested in those type of things. Like would I be interested in finding out who I am? Would I be interested in any of those things? Or would I have just been in the system and been part of the system and been an NPC? Like it makes me wonder. I was like, hmm, I don't really I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, uh I was like, I like could like it's like butterfly effect type of situation. Like that's why I say I wouldn't change anything because it's not worth like who I am. I wouldn't trade who I am right now for nothing in the world. I love me. I'm in love with me. Like I couldn't see me being anybody else. I couldn't see me being the asshole that you know. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I've always been a nice person. I've always been sweet. I've always had the best intentions. Right? I've never had the intention on hurting someone unless it was me defending myself. Right? So I wouldn't have, but I still was ignorant. I was very ignorant to a lot of things. Like it's a lot of jokes I used to make that I would never make now. Like it's just things like that. It's the way I talked, the way I handled my anger. Like I would have never. So yeah, so I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't take anything back. So everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I think that's about it though that I have for today because I just wanted to focus on one thing at a time because I thought about doing like one, two, three, four, five, like I usually blah blah blah. But I I just decided I didn't want to do it. I think I said that last time. I might repeat a lot of what I said before. I don't watch myself after I put something out, so and I've said that 100 times too, probably. Like I said, uh, if I repeat something, it was just meant to be. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I'm not gonna go back and look at my old videos. And of course, when I'm more consistent, I can keep up with what I said and remember. Right. But yeah, so you know, what can you do, right? So I think that was about it. So I think so. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. If I remember later on something else, I'll just write it down and it'll be in the next one. You know what I mean? So thank you for joining me today. I think that's all I have. I don't know what has that happens a lot though. I be feeling like maybe I forgot about something. Is there something else? Hold on, let me ask. Is there something else I'm forgetting before I go that they need to know about emotions or feelings? Oh yes, that's it. You have control of that. You do. Take the reins back. Take your power back. Start paying more attention to your thoughts. And listen, it's gonna be frustrating, depending on who you are. Okay, depending on who you are. I'm talking from personal experience. The moment you really sit with your thoughts and you're like, I'm gonna work on this and I'm gonna focus on what I'm actually thinking, what actually runs through my mind. And I'm gonna nip it in the bud if something comes up that I don't care for. Let me tell you something. It could be ooh wee. It's very interesting. You will learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn a lot about yourself. It's not as easy as that, but it's like you just have to be consistent. You just keep, and be nice to yourself throughout the process. Be like, whoop, be easy on yourself. 'Cause I would fuss at myself like, bro, oh man, why would you even think about that right now? Like, what made you think of that? Like, come on now. We try to. I used to really fuss at. I'm actually playing it nice right now, but I used to fuss at myself way worse than that. And I'm like, bro, why am I talking to myself like that? And everyone you meet or the experiences you have are projections, are mirrors. So if I talk to me like that, how is everybody else gonna talk to me? You feel me? So yeah, so you just have to, get the reins, but take your time with this. Almost like don't just binge watch. Don't because I'm good for that. Like I'll be listening to one video on YouTube and I'll be scrolling looking for like the next video or something like that. I think that might also be like a multitask type of thing that I got too because I'm usually like not just I like when I can just sit and look at like a video and just watch it. Like it feels great when I can. The moments when I can do that. But it has to be extremely like intriguing to keep me like sucked in. Other than that, I'm playing the game on one phone while I'm watching a video on another device or something like that. So it can be kind of so I'm talking from personal experience when it comes to that. So it's like try your best not to binge watch and try not to ingest too much information. Try to work on one thing at a time. Because when you're struggling, you want to just fix it. You want to just fix it. You want it to be over. You want to just move on. And you want things to just snap into place. And that's where you kind of mess up at when you start to like rush yourself. You cannot rush the healing process, especially if you've been attacked uh in any form, but a lot of people have been going through things for years, for years. They've been having a drought for years. And so there's a lot to clean up. It's a lot that needs to be flushed out and worked on and worked through. And especially if you have like trauma. So I would please just be kind to yourself, okay? And be patient with yourself and pick what works for you, like I said, and just keep it simple. Just keep it simple, and take it time. All right. And so I think that's all we have for today. And thank you for joining me. And until the next episode, peace within.